Hey, welcome back to the Top Brass. Thank you for joining me. I'm Jennifer Goldman. I am president of Resonance LLC, and we are a management consulting company working for strategic transformation of small businesses and nonprofit organizations. So I thank you for joining me again. As I've mentioned in some of my social media posts, if you consider yourself a leader, we consider you part of the Top Brass. And the goal of these series, or this series, is to help nonprofit and business leaders learn how to do business better, be smarter about it. Just some tips and tricks. I hate the word tricks, actually, I shouldn't use that, but just some strategies to help you get better with what you're doing. And in consulting with nonprofit and business leaders, I'm often asked about how to find more customers, how to identify who they are, how to connect with them better, how to get more sales, how to grow the business. And one of the first things that I ask, especially when I'm speaking to a startup business or brand new entrepreneur, is to ask, who is your target market? Who is your ideal client or customer? And oftentimes I get an answer that is something along the lines of, well, everybody could be my customer. Everybody could use my product. Everybody could use the services that I have and benefit from them. And my answer to that is, if you're trying to reach everybody, you're likely going to reach nobody or pretty close to nobody. It's hard to talk to prospective clients when you're trying to be so general that you're casting that big wide net that you're hoping to catch everybody in, and you're never going to catch everybody. And so one of the things I've been really honored to hear that a lot of people have been watching some of the other videos where I have one that's all about identifying target markets. And one of the things that has resonated with people the most is an analogy I used where it works better when I'm in the room with you, but I'm going to try it here on video anyway. So picture me holding a handful of darts, and I'm going to toss them up in the air. And wherever they land, that's my target market. Those are my people. If I just toss them in the air and I'm in a crowd, they may or may not hit anybody. They may just hit the ground. Or they may hit random people who have no idea what you offer or wouldn't find value in it, or maybe just wouldn't spend the money on it. And so what we try to do is be more strategic in identifying your target market. If you take those same darts and you take a look around the crowd and you start to analyze who could really, really benefit from your services, who do you want to work with? Who did you create this for? And try to analyze it a little bit more strategically. Then you can take that dart and you can look directly at a person and you throw it straight at them, and you do that with each one. You're a lot more likely to hit one of them or all of them because you've taken aim. You have analyzed what is right for you, what is right for your business, for your product, for your service, and you have identified who would really benefit and who is most likely to be your client. So that's what we want to do in business, is we want to be more strategic about that in finding those clients that are right for us. And that's one of the reasons why I ask not just who would benefit from your product or service, but who's your ideal client. Especially for the service-based businesses, when you're working with a client, you're working pretty intimately with them. And who do you want to work with? It's not just about who would benefit, but who do you want to work with? Who do you want to receive the benefit and spend your time with? And as for products, it's a matter of who's most likely to spend the money. Not just who's going to benefit, but who's most likely to actually put out that money. And so you want to be as specific as possible. I know it's counterintuitive, especially when you're starting a business. You really don't want to turn anybody off or turn anyone away. You want everybody to spend the money and see the benefit in what you have. But the more specific you are about who those people are, the more you narrow that focus and you can really hone in on them, even if there's a few. So one of the stories that I tell is about my business, to help people sort of understand how that analysis starts to go. Because for you, it'll be different than for me, but you want to look at, the people who are in your target market. Maybe it's about an age bracket, maybe it's about gender, maybe it's, whether they're parents or not. It might be geographically based. For me, as a nonprofit coach and small business consultant, I am looking at small business, corporate America. Could I help them? Yes, I could. That's not my target market. It's not where I have my most experience or expertise. So corporate America, great. If they come to me and I can see the benefit and find an ideal client in them, then yes, I would work with them. But what I am going to target my business toward are the smaller businesses and nonprofits. And I used to run a nonprofit, which is why they're so special to me. And the nonprofit that I ran was part of the Main Street program. And I really identify with that. I have a lot of experience in it. I still have a great heart for it. So when I look at my target market, I think, okay, I'd rather work with the nonprofits. I want to teach them how to run like businesses. I made a lot of mistakes while I was running a nonprofit. I did it well. It was challenging and I loved it, but I also made a lot of mistakes. And I have a business degree and a certification in nonprofit management. I'm also an accredited small business consultant. So I can bring all of that with me to the nonprofits to help them learn how to be more like businesses. So now I've narrowed it down. I want to work with nonprofit leaders. Well, take into account my expertise and my love for Main Street programs. Well, every state in the United States has a Main Street program, and many of them, the majority of them, are also part of the National Main Street program. So now we're looking at Main Street nonprofit leaders, which is pretty specific. It's still a big crowd. Once you get in it, you realize how many there are. But I can narrow it down also to I've worked with several Main Street programs in Virginia and in Connecticut, and I know a few of the people who are at the National Main Street Center. So now I have people that I can talk to who actually what I have to say in my experience resonates with them, and they have a bigger voice than I do. If I can talk to somebody at the state level in a Main Street program, they can then talk to the smaller nonprofits that are within their scope. So now I've narrowed it down to speaking to Main Street programs on the state and national level, which means that's 51 organizations. That's pretty specific. It's pretty doable. I can speak to them pretty clearly. I know how to find them. I know how to reach them. I know how to talk to them, and I know how to get their attention. So now we've narrowed it down from I'm a small business and nonprofit consultant and coach, which if you think about it, every enterprise has some level of management and leadership, whether it's a business for profit, whether it's a nonprofit, or whether it's government related. And I've narrowed it down from, basically every enterprise in the United States or the world to Main Street leaders, which is such a smaller scope. So try to think of your business that way. What is it you really do? Where is your heart? What is it you want to connect with? And how are you going to reach them? Who are the people who are going to benefit most? And that's the other thing. Not only do I have the biggest heart for Main Street programs, but that's where a lot of my experience comes from. Those are the groups that are going to benefit the most from hearing my stories of being a nonprofit leader, and also from the management side of things. So I know that they'll receive great benefit from me as much as I will receive great benefit and value from working with those leaders and seeing the improvements that I can help them make. And also, just as a human, as a person, as a business leader, I also believe that being your best self helps you be the best business person that you can. Showing up as you and the best you that you can be also helps you show up better in business. So another analogy that I can make is think about it as making friends. And not that we're in the business of making friends, but when you think about yourself personally and you want to make new friends, I think we've all been there, the age where you're just thinking, I want everybody to like me. I want everybody to be my friend. Everybody could be my friend. I'm likable. I'm friendly. Why wouldn't everybody be my friend? So think of it that way when you think about your target market. If you were going to go out and make friends, you wouldn't just walk around thinking, well, I would spend time with anybody who would spend time with me. Everybody can be my friend because I'm so friendly. You have to know yourself really well. What is the value that you're bringing? What is the value you want to receive? Who are the types of people you want to spend time with? And you want to be a little more strategic about it. You don't want to just spend time with anybody and everybody. And that's the same with your clients. Not anybody and everybody can be your client, just like you don't want anybody and everybody to be your friend. If you were looking for a friend, you would be thinking about the qualities of a person that you want to spend time with. You would think about what they would have to offer you, the types of things you would do in the time that you have together, and you would start to sort of narrow down the types of people and personalities that you want to spend time with, that you want to be with, that you want to invest emotionally in. And you can only do that when you really know yourself. So also in looking for your target market for your business, you have to really know your business, know your products, know your services. It's difficult to talk to your ideal client base if you don't know what you're bringing to the table, if you can't articulate it really clearly. I know when I started my business, because I had a background in marketing and I'm good at marketing, a lot of people assumed that my business was a marketing firm. In fact, I got introduced to a lot of people as, here's Jennifer, she started a new company called Resonance, it's a marketing firm. Oh, no, no, no. Thank you. I really appreciate the fact that you value that side of me, but that is not what I'm doing. And so I had to learn to articulate very well what it is that I do. And so that people weren't confused, number one, because my business name Resonance doesn't exactly give it away. And because I was pretty well known in the areas that I was working in for my marketing savvy, which I really appreciate. But as a management consultant, that term even still confuses some people. So I have to be really clear about what it is. I am trying to help businesses and nonprofits strategically move towards transformation so that they can achieve their goals, especially if it's a nonprofit, so that they can stay aligned with their mission and work in a more strategic fashion that is more aligned to doing business. And so knowing what I bring to the table, knowing what I offer also helps me identify and speak to my target market. So I hope that's helpful. I know it's sort of a big nutshell. If you ever have questions or comments or things you want to correct or things you want to ask, please leave comments on YouTube or feel free to email me. My email is jennifer@resonance.us, and that is JENNIFER at RESONANCE.US. I'm always available to help, and I hope you have a great day and do great business. I'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.